Good evening and welcome to News 9. Now, for the first time, Narendra Modi has spoken about Yediyurappa and Sriramulu in an exclusive and bold interview with the CEO of TV9 network, Mr. Ravi Prakash. Now, Modi has said that there are no allegations against Sriramulu and that the High Court has quashed all cases against B.S. Yediyurappa. But the truth is far from that. Before we talk about the allegations against Sriramulu and Yediyurappa, take a look at what Modi said.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का भ्रष्टाचार के संबंध में जीरो टॉलरेंस है और इल्जाम लगाने से इल्जाम नहीं लगते हैं। श्री रामलू के खिलाफ एक भी एलिगेशन नहीं है, एक भी। और मैं चाहूंगा कि TV9 के पास जानकारी हो तो मेरे जवाब के सामने उस जानकारियों को TV9 पर रख करके देश के सामने रखा जाए। इससे ज्यादा उदार तो कुछ हो नहीं सकता है। येडियुरप्पा के पर की जितनी FIR थी सो हाईकोर्ट ने रद्द कर दी है, लेकिन ये चीजें आती नहीं बाहर। भाई आप इल्जाम को लेकर के चलते रहते हो।
आपका कहने का ये मतलब भाई येडियुरप्पा और श्रीरामुलु क्लीन लीडर्स हैं।
मैं किसी को प्रमाण पत्र देने के लिए यहाँ नहीं बैठा हूँ, ये मेरा काम नहीं है। वो कानून की व्यवस्था है, संविधान की व्यवस्था है, संवैधानिक संस्था है, वो करेगी। और दूसरा जनता जनार्दन करेगी।
So that was Narendra Modi's version, but if you remember, we had shown you the ADR report a few days ago, and according to that report, none of the two are clean men.
लगाने से इल्जाम नहीं लगते। श्री रामलू के खिलाफ एक भी एलिगेशन नहीं, एक भी।
Well, in fact, my colleague Harish joins me in the studio with the ADR report. Harish, first of all, what does that report have to say about these two politicians?
Well, the ADR report is first compiled by the affidavit given by these two candidates when they filed their nomination. And if you go into the details of the kind of criminal background or the cases against these people, we'll take Sriramulu first. Sriramulu has 8 cases against him, this including 3 serious IPC charges against him. So in total 8 cases. I'll read out some of the violations or some of the serious charges against Sriramulu. One charge for voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapon, that's a serious charge. And the second charge is of attempt to murder, that's one more serious charge. Then you have criminal intimidation, and you have other charges for model code of conduct violation. So there are some serious charges. Something like attempt to murder by a politician is quite a serious charge, and these are the charges against B. Sriramulu, apart from various model code of conduct violations charges. And he also has a charge against him for threatening and intimidating. That's one more charge against B. Sriramulu. He's the candidate from the Bellary constituency, and just a while ago we had seen Narendra Modi saying that Sriramulu doesn't have any charges or any allegations against him. Perhaps he should have ideally gone through the ADR report, or at least their nomination, their affidavit submitted along with their nomination papers. Then it would have been clear that they themselves have declared that there are 8 cases pending against them, Nolan.
Right. In fact, these are just some snippets of the interview we showed you. We're now showing you the allegations against Sriramulu and Yediyurappa now, because we can't show it after 6 p.m. when the Model Code of Conduct kicks in. Now, you can watch the whole interview tonight at 9:15. Well, do catch that. Now, we also asked this to our audience. Does Narendra Modi know his own men? Is Modi actually unaware, or is he defending his corrupt men? You can share your views with News 9. Call us on the numbers that are flashing on your screen. If you can't call us, you can also send us an SMS. And we also have with us Mr. Arvind Kumar, who's a member of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Kumar, normally, you've seen the ADR report, what it talks about the cases against Sriramulu and Yediyurappa. Normally, politicians always take this cover that we are not guilty until proved in a court of law. What do you have to say about that, in spite of all these allegations, charges?
Let me be very clear that Modi is building a temple of lies, and this one is a feather over and above that. Okay, and it's in continuation, it is in line with what his stand has always been. It is not surprising at all that whenever he goes in, he makes in a pitch, he makes in a rhythmic type of a tempo he maintains is rhythmic in nature, irrespective of the truths, irrespective of the facts, and it has always been that. And today, luckily, you people or the media people have exposed it black and white. What else I can tell about this? And ADR, you cannot question ADR's integrity. Everybody has accepted it. In fact, even BJP people have taken the references of ADR report so many times against the Congress leaders. So you have no speak on that.
All right. Now, Harish, it's very strange that Modi will not know about the charges against his own men. And these are not normal or novice politicians. They are hardcore politicians who have been there for quite a long time.
Yes, it's very difficult, or it'll be very difficult for Modi himself to say that he never knew about these charges, Nolan, because remember when there was this whole talk about getting back Sri Ramalu into the party, Sushma Swaraj had voiced her opinion against it, both in the party forum as well as on Twitter. She had come public over it, and she had told specifically that if both Sri Ramalu and any of his aides are bought in, then again that whole corruption taint will be against the BJP. It will become very difficult for the party to defend itself in the state of Karnataka, and it will have a ripple effect in other states as well, because it's a national issue that you cannot ignore. The whole illegal mining issue had become such a big controversy, and it was taken up by the national media. National leaders spoke about it. It was discussed in the parliament. So it will become difficult for the BJP to defend itself. So Modi obviously will know what are the kind of charges against him. Perhaps he won't know the specific charges or specific instances, but he will definitely know that there are some serious charges against him that still haven't been given a clean chit to Sri Ramalu, Nolan.
Right. Arvind, you wanted to say something?
See, here the target is not about the nation, but about the values, or about the even the values of the own BJP do not stand true today. The BJP themselves had kicked these people out, not the CBI, not the other agencies. The BJP themselves had dictated Yediyurappa to get lost, and he took 12 more days to resign.
But when we are talking about the BJP, we are talking about the old guard led by Advani, not Team Modi.
That's it. You got the point. You got the point. One is that. Second one is, what is it they're trying to do? It is not for the nation. It is for target 272. I will do anything. That is what is the attitude today. And they have acknowledged it, accepted it. The other point I wanted to tell you is, if you go back with this report to Mr. Modi, would he now be in a position to acknowledge it back? No, he wouldn't. This is the arrogancy that has penetrated into the political system and arena. This people have to understand, acknowledge it, and be repulsive, not accommodative. This is what I would like to throw upon this challenge to the people today.
Harish, I want to come back to you. Do you think the old guard here was being a bit more wiser? These are all just knee-jerk reactions, like what Arvind stated, in order to get that magic number of 272, that they've decided, all right, fine, regardless of all the charges against them, let's get everybody.
Well, the state BJP wanted both these leaders back. If you look at the vote share that both these parties got in the 2013 assembly elections here, the KJP managed to get roughly around 9% in the state, and if you look at the BSR Congress, it roughly got around 2%. So that's a considerable amount of vote share, and especially in seats where the BJP lost by a very, very narrow margin. It was always analyzed that these are the parties that actually had the vote share, or took away the vote, divided the vote, and caused the loss for the BJP. And you will also look at the region as well. By bringing back Sri Ramalu, the BJP believes that it will not just strengthen Bellary, but several districts around Bellary, whether it's Koppal, whether it's Chitradurga, or the nearby areas, and it will also consolidate that backward minority vote that it wants to, because he comes from the Valmiki community. So the BJP believes that by bringing back Sri Ramalu, it can actually consolidate the Valmiki community, the backward classes community votes, and win the seats not just in Bellary but the nearby constituencies, the surrounding constituencies of Bellary as well. Even in Shivamogga, in spite of K.S. Ishwarappa being there, the BJP felt that bringing back Yediyurappa will mean that they will get back 9% of vote that was lost they lost last time round, and also they will have some support coming in from the Lingayat community. That was the calculation, and that's the reason that in spite of severe criticism and opposition from Sushma Swaraj, the BJP decided to bring just Sri Ramalu back. They said, we will not accept any of his tainted aides or any of his tainted friends from the BSR Congress. We will just have Sri Ramalu coming back and contesting from Bellary, Nolan.
Right. In fact, for the special discussion, we also have with us Shaswati Chakraborty and Mr. Gabriel Vaz. Both are political analysts. Thank you for coming here. Mr. Vaz, Modi just now has stated in an exclusive interview with the CEO of TV9 Network, Mr. Ravi Prakash, that there are no allegations, these are his words, no allegations against Sriramulu and Yediyurappa. But the ADR report, which you're familiar with, has all those details. Can you tell us something about the ADR report against their names first?
No, obviously Mr. Modi hasn't been properly briefed.
Could that be the reason?
Yes, definitely. So he is not definitely not familiar with the ground situation or the political situation in Karnataka. At least if what he said is correct. So and he doesn't know the legal cases against Mr. Yediyurappa. He is out on bail. He should have known that. So obviously the local BJP leaders have not briefed him properly.
Do you, can you buy that? Because we are talking about two senior leaders over here. Sriramulu itself, there was opposition from Sushma Swaraj talking about these allegations. Yediyurappa, every time they talk about corruption nationally, Yediyurappa's name is brought out. So it's a little hard for the people here to actually figure out that Modi does not know anything about these things.
Well, I think you need to look at it from two different perspectives. The first perspective is Modi's need for seats.
Yes.
The second perspective is the BJP's need to form government. Okay, these don't meet. Because these don't meet, like everyone has been saying, despite severe opposition, both Yediyurappa as well as Sriramulu have been accommodated. Now, once they have been accommodated, the man who is promising this country a stable, decisive government, he's promising this country good governance, you cannot expect him to sit there and acknowledge that yes, we have bad apples on our team. Because if he acknowledges that, then the very basis of good governance gets questioned. Therefore, I don't think the issue is one of how much Modi knows or what Modi knows, but a question of what is the position that is convenient for Modi to take at this point in time.